own identity and grouping up the projects and doing things, instead of sort of founding a huge company which they will go and work for. So this is also an interesting development to see that individualism is rebuilding new markets outside of the conventional big global player markets. And the big global players are of course having big difficulties in getting into these markets as more and more as the internet evolves, because eventually this would lead to a decentralization of economy into smaller units of individuals organizing themselves, basically. Now, this would mean we would lead into an economy without any business identities anymore, just having projects, ideas, new creative approaches, and having all kinds of individuals, like a swarm or like a whole cloud of individuals working together, coming together like a living organism, and working, doing things. Now, the problem up to now today in this topic is that that the financial system makes it difficult for single individuals to pay each other for different ideas. You see, it's still a mini market approach. That makes it a bit difficult indeed. So what we see happening is what we would need to sort of to liberalize these individualistic one person based companies, which are getting more and more, is to get new ways. You would need to take a close look at them, at the way the money or the market dynamics between monetarian side and creativity dynamics, producing side, between sort of company side, society side, and individualism approach, how we can get this balance in a better way, because now what we have is still the economy is still based on having huge companies having the big money and giving the money to the individuals for them producing things or buying, or they give them back at buying things. But you see, it's all still very centralized and a lot of bureaucracy and difficulty to move. So this is one aspect one needs to also look at, but very interesting development. So what I see happening today is that we have big movements of individualism approaching in the economy, where liberalization of new freedom of individuals coming, understanding themselves not anymore as a worker, as a job title, as a job product, but experiencing themselves as a holistic, very independent personality, bringing in gifts into smaller, bigger, large groups, bringing them into society in new ways. Especially the younger generation is coming up with quite a lot of new market approaches we have really not discovered yet. So this is a very interesting thing, in seeing what are these new talents, how can we integrate them, or how can we help them to go further. So this is one big group. The other group is, as I explained, the social business aspect, or the social entrepreneurship aspect, where we see, okay, business ideas changing more, coming more into the movement of sort of going away from appearing to be bad capitalism to something like a socialism with a capitalistic background, or capitalistic way of doing socialism. This is what's appearing on one side, and on the other side, of course, we still have the big global players, which today are getting more and more into a tremendous crisis situation. So, if we round up all these ideas now and think about how could we build bridges between these areas, between these three blocks which are appearing now, between collectivism and individualism, then I believe that it's a lot about the business identity. It's about the idea that as long as we think corporations need to exist as a identity, as a centralized market, sort of coming up saying I'm IBM or I'm Microsoft or whatever, and I produce this and that, and we sort of flood the market with our influence and power. Instead of that, we see it's maybe a possibility to break up the boundaries between these groups of global players and the networkers and the creative clusters, allowing these to come back, allowing these to work together in a more sensible way. And at the end of the road, this could lead to a sort of a new kind of identity of businesses that basically focuses not so much more on the outside identity, but really more on the actual products. That means that employees in those companies will be more like independent players of creativity and production, moving through all kinds of companies, or moving on all kinds of products, working on them, and moving on to others after that, and being more or less independent from the company identity. So there we see a new form of going away from being being sort of standardized and being just a soldier of collectivism in the business, and sort of bringing it into more dynamics. Now, all my work, basically, all my books and everything, is based on showing how this can happen and what that would be all about. Now, so this is one bridge which can happen. On the other side, I also see big possibilities in the social business movement, and I also believe that this still should also be connected with this creative cluster aspects and the aspects of individualism. Where I see difficulties or problems appearing in the future is if we just have the big global players connecting with the social business, and not letting the individualism streams, not letting them get into that, because what we see then is really the risk of economy changing into like a socialism kind of system, which at the end will not lead to more freedom or more dynamics in the market. It will only sort of privatize our culture and our social system with a centralized capitalistic background, and that's really not what we want. That's sort of leading more into the New World Order idea, which is as I think, not very good idea, because it does suppress the individual, and I think the individual is the only guarantee for freedom and for creative production at the end. So that's about all I wanted to say about individualism and collectivism and the future of business identity. If you want to find more about how to enforce your company with more creative dynamics, individualism, and how to build concrete bridges between these three blocks of development today, then just contact me, get on the phone, send me an email, and we can start with a speech or with a deeper workshop on this, and help to strengthen your employees about it. Anyway, so that's a good thing, and I wish you a nice, wonderful day today, and just don't forget that you're a big, strong individual, and it's all about you at the end. So thanks a lot, and goodbye.